Hello everybody, this is Ice from the FX Saber forums displaying my first custom MHS saber. This is a saber I built using the MHS system obviously. I have built other sabers before but never using this system, and I have to say it was quite a pleasure because these parts fit together perfectly. They're really well machined, really high quality, and they feel really nice. Now I'm sure most of you in the saber community already know that because you've had the opportunity to use these materials before, but I have not. Sorry for the little bit of the shaky camera work there. So this emitter I chose, I really like it because it's kind of reminiscent of the Old Republic. It's one of the new ones they have. And then I had Tim machine those two AV switch holes for me because I can't do something that precise with the tools I have. Now there is a little issue with this switch. As you can see, it's not perfectly straight like the other one. There's a little bit of a lip on it, and that's kind of annoying me, but it's only on one side. The other side is perfect, and I'll get to that in a minute. That is a rice port. I've got a cover tech clip down there, and then the kill key is in the back there. One of the kind of annoying things about this build is, although the MHS system has a lot of room on the inside, this grenade grip does not. It's thinner than the other grips, and obviously it has to be because these sections are quite wide in here, so it needs to have a lower inner diameter so it can have this nice deep and detailed groove. However, I wanted this saber to have a big battery, so it has a quad pack of 4500s, which rests right there in that area. I couldn't fit a sound card on either side of the pack, so it's just the pack alone, and I'll open that up and show you that in a minute. So I had to put the sound card, which is a petite crouton, around here. And the problem with that was I have a gigantic bundle of wires that goes right where this switch is supposed to be. And I moved the majority of them. You should have seen it previously. I'm sure I'll have some pictures posted in this video. I could only get the switch, I couldn't even get it in that far for quite a good bit of time, and I eventually just pulled it out completely, moved as many of the wires as I could, and that's how much I could get it to seat. So that's kind of depressing, but you know what, it's my first build. I didn't expect it to be perfect, and that's one of the only imperfections about it, so I'm not too upset. Also, this powder coat is really nice. This is something I hardly see anybody use. It's a Warlock Gray powder coat, and it's this really wonderful texture, if I can get the camera to focus on that. Feels really good, especially when your hands are sweaty. It still gives you something to hold on to. I like using my sabers without wearing gloves. I know a lot of people like to wear gloves when they duel or spar or spin, but I prefer to just go open hand. And all the machining on this is quite comfortable. I thought I was a little afraid that this edge of this gear would be kind of sharp, but it's not. That's really nice. Everything is nice and comfortable on this saber. So as I said, it has a petite crouton over here, and I haven't had the time to completely format the software on it, so it's not doing everything I want it to at the moment, but it's not bad. It's pretty close. Also, this stand is a stand that I made for it out of poplar wood. I don't really like the plastic Star Wars stands. I just think they look kind of cheesy, so I think this displays the saber better than a normal stand would. Just as a side note. Anyway, this petite crouton, if I fire up this saber, pull the kill key, I want these switches to blink while it's in idle mode. I haven't gotten a chance to get on and actually make it do that yet, but eventually that's what it's going to do. This is running the Hero sound font. I believe that's by Mad Cow, and this is the ignition. So, nice flash, nice bright blue. That's a Luxion LED, and that's another thing. I'm no flash on clash on this one because I wanted to keep it kind of simple, and I'm not a huge fan of flash on clash as it is. But I might be putting a P4 in there because I think the P4s are a little brighter. That's not really capturing the color, but you can see the color over there. So these dials. I do like how they pulse like that. I think that's pretty cool. The sound vents very nicely. I did have a bit of a problem. Let me just turn this off. It's anti-power off protection, so you gotta press both of them. It's difficult to do with the camera in my hand. I did have a bit of a problem over here because the speaker is sandwiched in between this rice port and the 2.1 mm audio or charging jack. The speaker, it's a 2-watt bass speaker. It's right there, and the problem is that the leads from this contact the speaker, even if just only a little bit, so it kind of muffles the speaker a little bit. I think I fixed it. I'm not entirely sure, but sometimes the speaker just sounds kind of scratchy because of that, and the way I fixed it was the wires were kind of too long, so I used needle nose pliers and pushed them back through my assembly, which I'll show you in a minute. So I fixed it for the most part, but it's still a little bit grainy and not quite as loud as it could be. Anyway, if we turn this back on, the Hero sound font's really great. Let me take it off here for a minute. I have mine set pretty sensitive because I like to spin and I like sensitivity, so I want to hear swings when I'm spinning. So. And clashes. So it's pretty basic Hero font. I did do a little modification to it that I'd like to show off because I think it's pretty funny. This button is the aux switch, and obviously you've got your blaster blocks and you've got your blade flicker when that happens, but if you hold this switch down, I put in a little Easter egg because I don't think I'll almost ever be using lockup, so it plays AC/DC. So I thought that was pretty cool. We do anti-power off. Let me throw a blade in it real quick. So here we are with a blade. Press the ignition. So I have a bit of a flicker set on it. I kind of like it just with the soft occasional flicker. I know a lot of people like a high pulse, but I just like the occasional flicker. And then for the clash function, it does a bit of a bigger flicker. So it's kind of nice. I like it. Overall, it's a really, really cool saber, and I actually had actually, I will just leave it there. I had a problem initially with this saber. I had two pieces, these two pieces, the gear and the blank piece. You can see they're all like really scratched up and just bent and in terrible condition. What had happened was I threaded these two together without lubricating them, and it was really, really difficult to thread together, and I ended up stripping the threads, and the only way to get them apart was to put this piece in a vise and then use the end of a wrench as a leverage jack to get them apart. And Tim very, very graciously from the Custom Saber Shop replaced them for me completely free of charge. So huge shout out to Tim. That was really, really nice of him, and he even sent me a little aluminum lubricant tube, which was really, really nice of him. So big shout out to Tim. I know everybody loves him, but now I do too. So as you can see, this saber does disassemble quite a bit. The main chassis I made for it is out of a polycarbonate, which is slightly thicker than the polycarb that's used for the blades. There's the rice jack. Then the PC is right there, and I have it covered with some electrical tape just so the leads don't get contact when the gear gets threaded over it. There's the speaker, and that's what I was talking about with the wires. Now, as you can see, I can pull the wires out so they don't contact the speaker, and sometimes that happens because this actually sits about there when everything is screwed together, but sometimes it sits a little lower depending on how long the wires are, so that's kind of annoying. This is the quad pack of 4500s, and that slips perfectly into this section, so it doesn't rattle around at all or anything, so I didn't make a chassis for it. and then the JST connector connects to the LED, which so it's on quick disconnects obviously, and I sanded down, well, I cut and then sanded down that heat sink, and I know it doesn't look amazing, but it really doesn't have to. And I left this on for half an hour, and that's not even warm in the back there. So there's no reason to have a heat sink that goes out to like here. And the reason I had to do that was to leave space for the battery, because it's literally, quite literally, sandwiched in between that AV switch and this LED. There is no extra room for anything. Quite tight, and that's one of the things that helps make it secure. Just one more pan around to the saber before I say goodbye. And that's that. Thanks for watching.